This is Bryce Vine hanging out with my boys here at the Break It Down Show.
And now, the Break It Down Show with John and Pete.
We are at Little Bear in downtown Los Angeles with, it's a little early in your career to say the great Bryce Vine, but we're hopeful and
you can still do it if you want.
And we'll go ahead and jump ahead and go, we're having lunch at Little Bear in downtown Los Angeles with the great Bryce Vine. Man, thank you for joining us.
Wow, thank you, man.
This is
Thank
a
you for the
joint, man. You
introduction.
picked a joint.
Yo, you picked the place.
Oh, did we pick
No,
the
you're
Well,
Matt.
I mean, Matt picked the place.
Matt
Okay.
picked it, yeah.
Right on, Matt. Good looking out, man.
We're all happy.
I'm very elated to know that you are a proper carnivore. And because
In LA, right?
this place is terrific. I mean, this is kind of an industrial kind of joint, and they got a lot of microbrews and all kinds of stuff like that. But they also have cheeseburgers. And Pete and I come into a place like this, and we're fat asses, so we're like, yeah, give me the burger with all the shit on it. Is there any more shit you can pile on top of it?
Y'all
We
got
go
pie?
to Pete's.
Y'all got a tire back there? You can just
Yeah, just throw it on there. You know what? Chop it a little if you can, or shave it.
Yeah.
Do some gourmet shit like shave
That
it.
actually sounds. I don't know. Maybe I'm just hungry. It
Yeah.
just sounds good right
If you
now.
got pecan pie, put a slice of that on there too. Dag with it, stack it tall.
Yep. Smush it in.
You've
Yeah.
seen pictures like that on the internet
Absolutely.
where crazy restaurants, mostly in the Midwest, will have like just everything they could
Yes.
possibly fit on like a glass of Bloody Mary.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
Sticks
Like a full
poking out.
yeah.
Stuff stuck in there.
Full cheeseburger. It's important to be conscious of the food that you're eating.
Sure.
Sometimes, unless you're just enjoying yourself. But I mean, I'm not like unaware of like the meat industry and how terrible it is. It's just like I don't eat McDonald's or anything like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I
Baby
mean, we're
steps.
in a place that's going to serve us proper food.
Yeah.
You know, we're not eating processed bullshit, but
You know why? And you know how you know? Because people in LA wouldn't come here if it wasn't like that.
That's true.
You know?
Yeah.
If you're going to serve meat, you better make sure that shit was farm raised or people are going to not be about you.
yeah.
Or
So-
be McDonald's. Yeah. Anyway.
Speaking of quality, though, man, where do we begin?
Yeah.
I mean, let's start from where we heard about you. We did a show with DJ Severe. He's the DJ at Dodger
He's the
Stadium.
most listened to DJ in the universe.
He
Oh.
is the most listened to DJ in the universe.
Dude, well, yeah, he played one of my songs at a Dodger game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he plays it.
And my
it's
friends
in
were
his
there.
rotation.
It's in his rotation.
No way.
So here's the way I see this: is getting your song on the radio is one thing, and it's incredible. But to get your song played on a DJ that has to rock the house in the right kind of way and to fit your song in there on the steady rotation,
And right now, make 70,000 booties shake.
yeah,
You
Wow.
know?
that's tougher than the radio.
And here's the thing.
I didn't know
We
that.
talked with him for a good, since then, of course, we are lucky to say, man, he's our homeboy now. But at that point, we had just met him that day. We did an hour-long show with him sitting at his perch overlooking Dodger Stadium.
No way.
Yeah. And we talked about music, man, and we got deep, and really kind of established our brotherhood in that moment where we were talking about stuff, just obscure crate digger shit. Then towards the end of the show, I said, okay, so now who are you excited about that more people should know about right now? And he took 1/100th of a second to say Bryce Vine.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Wow,
Yeah.
that's super humbling.
And we went like this. Well, I don't know who that is, so see you later. And then on the way home,
We know now.
we popped open our phones and checked out YouTube and plugged it into the system in the car so we could hear it properly. And man, I started off at Sour Patch Kids
Yeah.
because I looked at that and I went, "Oh, look at this! Look at this! This looks like," and it's a time. Yeah, I'm in. Let me check that
Oh,
out.
you watched the video?
Yeah, so
Oh,
we watched
good.
the video while driving in LA traffic. And like I said, we were
Sounds
plugged
very
into the
dangerous.
car, so we were listening to it. We had proper fidelity, but we're looking at it, and man, just we're entertained. I mean, I can't help being critical about a piece of music, just like I
Same.
know you are. You know, you hear something, you know the difference between good and not so good, but at the same time, man, just thoroughly entertained by the comedy in the video, all the good stuff, and then so then we had to dig deep and look into what you were up to. But that's where we heard about you, man. And
Wow. Dude, that's so cool. I did not know that. I did not know that, and I haven't actually met him in person. I've just had friends that have told me that he's always playing my stuff, and they met him and told him that they were friends with Bryce Vine, and he got very excited. But I haven't gotten to actually meet DJ Severe, so that's so cool that you guys.
Yeah, we'll have to.
Yeah, he almost sat right here, just didn't quite work out schedule wise. So we'll do another one. Yeah, for sure.
Nah, we all got to just do this once in a while.
Absolutely.
We'll
do it at Dodger Stadium. We'll have him host us. All right, DJ Severe, you're on the hook. And they got free ice cream there.
I like how Pete just volunteered Dodger Stadium.
Yeah, right.
You know, we're having a get together. It's gonna be at Dodger Stadium, but he
fun.
did hook that up, and to get that kind of a recommendation, I mean, means that you're churning out quality, because he really is a crate digger, you know. I mean, we talked about on that show, Blood, Sweat, and Tears, and Tower of Power, old vintage Earth, Wind, and Fire. I'm from Vallejo, California, so I brought up Confunction, and he threw out some deep Confunction. I mean, we got deep on that show.
Right.
LTD, and just all kinds of stuff where it was like, this is a very meaningful, very heavy conversation. And to have him just whip out, you know, I'll tell you right now who people should know about. People should know about Bryce Vine.
And he likes breaking music.
He really does.
That's his thing.
So you were born in New York, but your path really started here in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
So you're as native as it really gets, other than being dropped on the soil here.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, and being raised by New Yorkers, you know, a family of New Yorkers. Like, I guess I just... I went to school in Boston too. I don't know. I just always felt.
We'll talk about that as well.
It's a great way to grow up around sun all the time. You know, it definitely influenced my music. But I used to go to New York every summer with my dad too, and seeing that at such a young age, that city, you know, and like really taking it in when I'm like 13 years old. I think that played a part in like.
That's really quality exposure.
Yeah.
Wow.
Man.
So that makes you, I think, unique among Angelinos, because we'll claim you over here on the West Coast.
That's
so
fine.
You're an Angelino who has New York roots, but you always maintained your New York roots. And a lot of people who either come here, are born here, or come here early, you know, don't reach back and really understand where their roots are wherever they are. Yours just happen to be in New York. So
lucky me.
That's the real deal, man. I mean, you're really between New York and L.A.
Any excuse to go there too, you know. And you know, I gotta say, LA is so much easier to live in because basic reasons. Traffic, no matter how bad it gets in LA,
right?
It can't even begin with Manhattan.
Yeah.
And obviously the winter. Have you ever lived in winter? Where are you from?
Yeah, I'm from here, but I lived in Chicago. And
okay. Oh my God.
Yeah, and that's bad. And I did a tour. Well, I've lived in some really cold places.
Okay.
So yes.
Yeah. Chicago and Minneapolis are the coldest places that I've been to so far in the U.S.
That's cold.
Like where it feels personal.
Yeah. Right.
You know what I mean?
When I lived in Chicago, I was like, why do you guys all wear gloves and scarves? And then we hit like 8 degrees one day, and I'm like, fuck, Jesus Christ, I need something to cover everything.
Yeah. You're like mid thought, and you're trying to think, oh, you know where I got to go to this. Fuck, it's cold.
I used to try to run back in my running days, and then one day I ran. I'm like, I'm going to put on like 3 pairs of sweats, and I ran, and my dick froze. And I'm like, back to the house. I'm not even lying. Like, my dick went numb. It was so cold. I'm like, done. No more running in the winter.
Yo, that's not a fabrication either. No. Like, I had dreadlocks in college because I was so cool, and I was always late to class, so they would freeze on my way to class.
Yeah, totally.
Because I just gotten out of the shower.
Wow. Frozen dreads.
Yeah.
There's something that nobody thought of when they were invented. Like, you know what? We ought to protect these just in case they freeze. Who's going to freeze their dreads, man? But I used to smoke cigarettes.
A college kid in the U.S. Oh, did you?
That's true.
I did too.
I was going somewhere, and I had to stop at O'Hare, and I got off the plane, and I was there, and I was doing like a 2-hour layover. So, of course, I'm like, I can get back into security. I'm going to step outside and have a smoke. And I went outside, and the length of time it took me to have a cigarette, I was like, fuck this. I quit smoking. I quit smoking because it was so damn cold in Chicago.
Really? That was the last time?
That was it.
That's amazing.
I sneak one every once in a while, but functionally, last time I was like, you know what? This habit is not worth this bullshit.
I don't know how anybody has it when it's a place that cold. You have to step outside to do that when it's 8 degrees. I couldn't. No, that's a great way to quit.
There was one time where I was in Canada, and I was in this place called Sherbrooke. I had to go visit this joint up there, and they had a smoking room. So you didn't have to go outside to smoke.
Oh,
and it was winter in Canada.
Yeah.
So I was like, man, really? You guys got a smoking room? That seems kind of strange, but okay. And it was like, man, you took one step in there, and I was like, nah, I can't take this.
No, it just smells dirty.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Yeah, they have that at the Vegas airport too, and like,
Yep.
Yeah, I couldn't do that. Well, good for you, man.
Okay.
Good for you for quitting.
I guess. I'd do a lot worse things. How often do you get to Vegas?
Wake up in Vegas and I lose a couple grand.
Honestly, not that often.
Okay.
Maybe like once a year, we'll have that trip where it's no holds barred, and me and my boys just go and like, you know, we do all the fun stuff. Like one of my friends can get us the rooms, and one of them can get us my agent.
You got a hookup in Vegas?
Yeah, we have a couple. I mean,
Okay.
that's
That's
just
nice
the
to
way
have.
my friend group worked out. Like they're just very sociable guys.
Oh, yeah, nobody does that on purpose.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, well, I don't go often enough for it to matter. Like,
Right.
I'll go to Vegas with a group of friends that I like and pay everything. You know what I mean? If I have to, I don't care. But it is more fun
When
to
you
do
get
it
the
for
hookup.
free.
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely.
Yes.
That's better.
But my agent is one of my best friends, so they book a lot of stuff out there, so we can go to shows that we want and all that stuff. But I can only handle it once a year. I can only handle that hangover once a year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just so much.
I'm a 3-day guy, too.
3 days.
I
Yeah,
can do
3
the
days
3
is good.
days. On the fourth, I know better than to be there a fourth day now. Mm-hmm. But if I am there a fourth day, it's not cool.
What's your favorite hotels?
Well, I'm old, so I'm going to go with Caesars because I'm old.
Caesars is great.
Yeah.
Everyone likes Caesars.
Yeah.
So I used to live in Vegas. And so
You did?
Yeah. So I got some
Oh, he
sneaky
got the
spots.
hookup.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
I like to stay at MGM on the signature side, though. So you're on the back side. So you're in those three towers, and you're still connected to the MGM, do all the MGM shit, but you're not like in the hustle and bustle if you don't want to be.
Oh, wow.
It's sneaky.
And they
it's-
can pipe in strippers.
Oh, yeah. They come in the back door, no one knows.
They got that phone.
Well, now
you
they
got
do.
that on the signature side. You got that phone. You just pick it up.
Have them bitches come over here.
Yeah. The third day for me, like I always describe Vegas in terms of, one time I was there, I was staying in Caesars, and across the street from Caesars, there used to be, it's not there now, but there was a couple years ago, this place called Hula Hands, and it was an Irish-themed casino bar thing, and I remember walking by there, and it was all Irish, and they had Beer Fest or whatever going on, and they had this midget, and he was dressed like a leprechaun, and he was surrounded with like 5 or 6 bikini models who were all like 6-foot Amazonian, beautiful, red-haired or blonde-haired, and green bikinis, and they were just high-fiving people and handing out stuff, and this dude was dressed like a leprechaun. He was a midget, and he had this spiel that was like 2 minutes long, because I remember watching him, and he'd go, if you like beer pong the way we love beer pong, come on into Hula Hands, and it would go through the whole thing, and then 2 minutes later, it would start over again. If you love beer pong the way we love beer pong, come on into Hula Hands. Meanwhile, he's hanging out with these chicks, he's high-fiving customers, they're coming in. I mean, I'm just like, look at this dude, man.
He's like
He's
a
earning
total
a living,
celebrity.
he's loving life, yeah. On the fourth day, actually on the third day, I saw him again, same scenario, just the third day. And I look at him, and it sounds like this. If you love beer pong the way we love beer
Oh,
pong.
no.
And I just look at him and go, you poor exploited little bastard. I just want to give you a hug and tell you that you have a value in life. You don't have to do this, little man. You don't have to do this. You're selling yourself out. You're
Yeah.
compromising your soul. That's
It's like, but I love strippers and cocaine.
Yeah.
right. But same thing, just day 1, day 3. Same
Wow.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds like the natural progression of days in partying in Vegas. You lived out there.
I was Captain Morgan. I was the model for Captain Morgan out there. So whenever Captain Morgan showed up somewhere, it was this guy.
No way.
Yeah, it was hilarious.
That's awesome.
So I'd be like a Smash Mouth show, like handing out Captain Morgan things. Boom. And then I
That's
always ended up on stage, you know. Violent Femmes that did their thing. But so I was going to tell you, the coolest place you got to go to is called the Golden Steer. It's on Sahara. You just go left at the strip, and it's right there in a little strip mall. And that done. Just
Really?
do that. Yeah, it's badass.
Okay, I'll write it down right now.
Yeah.
It's one of those
I'm
old
gonna go
school
back
places
soon.
where you go, oh, yeah, that's right. Dean Martin did used to live here.
Yeah. It's
Oh,
it's dope.
right.
It's good.
Yeah.
The Golden Steer.
Golden Steer.
All right, I'm actually putting it into my. Actually,
Yeah.
I put it on Yelp.
So while you're making that note, I'm going to tell our listeners that you moved to Los Angeles with your mom because she was in the entertainment business,
Mm-hmm.
and she got a part on the soap opera.
Wow, you really did your homework.
Yeah,
That's
and
awesome.
then she gave you a guitar when you were somewhere around 9 or 10, and you
13,
picked up the guitar.
13th birthday.
Oh, 13. And decided that, hey, you know what? I get even more chicks if I learn to play this thing. And so you got to work doing that and ended up at Berklee College of Music,
I sure did.
Well, they don't fuck around.
where they don't fuck around. Let's see other guitar players who have gone to Berklee.
I don't
Steve
know.
Vai.
That'll work.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, how about Melissa Etheridge?
Melissa Etheridge. The list goes on and on. I'll tell our listeners, go take John Schofield, for
Yeah.
fuck's sake. So,
You know what's funny though? I got in for singing, which I thought I was really less good at. I sang in a band in high school,
Yeah.
and that's when I first started writing songs. And I played lead, but like my version of.
Yeah.
And I got in for. I just sang a song that I had written while playing guitar to get into Berklee. So I was a vocal principal, but I just played guitar when I wrote songs. So
Wow.
that was even crazier because the vocal people, the people that can really sing there,
Yeah.
when I got to Berklee, I was like, oh no.
What
oh
have I
no,
done?
they've made a mistake.
Oh, yeah.
They've made a terrible mistake, and it's only a matter of time before they figure it
they're
out.
going to find me out.
Yeah, and then I'm going to be replaced so fast. Especially because I got a scholarship to go, so I felt even more undeserving. I felt even more undeserving, so I just was feeling guilty and like,
You're in the choir mouthing it, not even singing. Like,
yeah. Yo, so I joined the gospel choir just because I wanted to like understand how they did what they did,
Right.
And I needed to like go into a form of music that I hadn't experienced yet. I'd done punk, I'd done a little bit of reggae. You know, I grew up on like Tupac and some jazz music that my dad showed me, but really I didn't know a lot about a lot of things still. So I joined it, and it was the most terrifying. I'm just like, I am the only one in this group that doesn't have an amazing voice. Why am I still here? But they just knew that I was trying, so I like kept going. And then like the teacher was just like, yeah man, just keep doing it. And I don't know, it was very hard to be at Berklee at first. Very hard.
Wow.
Yeah.
what did you figure out though? Because you figure things out.
Well, I started just using my I'm like, well, if I'm gonna do anything, it's gonna have to be my own thing, because I can't sing like Bruno Mars and all these amazing Tower of Power and all that stuff. You know, I can't do that, and I know that. So what am I gonna do? So I like started making little beats and stuff on my computer, you know, on like GarageBand and stuff. And then I would go to the practice rooms that they had on every floor, and I would try stuff in the privacy. And I was self-conscious about my voice too. It's not like I was really an amazing singer and it was self-conscious, or the opposite, you know, that like was really overconfident in my singing but couldn't sing that well. It was the worst of both worlds. And I like heard somebody making beats in a dorm room when I walked by, and I knocked on the door because they were really cool, and it was this dude, Nick, who was making beats, who's now in this DJ duo called Lost Kings.
Huh.
But this is how I got started, even singing and rapping pop music with a twist of like rap on it, because he made the beats, and he like told me, dude, your voice sounds great over this stuff. I was like, oh, so that's where I'm supposed to be. Yeah. And up till then, I had also been singing jazz in school. So, like, because the teacher said, you have a jazz voice. I'm like, great, now I know where my voice is again. Like, so I would sing jazz, and I learned how to do that and how to do the croony thing. And then once I found out I was doing pop, I'm like, that makes money. Cool, let's do that one now. But then, like, started writing songs that way. And it turns out the guy that became the guitar player of that group became my producer now, who makes all my songs.
Terrific.
Yeah.
Damn, that's a great story.
That was easy.
It's a long story.
And the thing is, you do have a, I don't know, croonish voice. You definitely have a jazzy. Your voice fills a spot that allows for a lot of versatility. I mean, you can hear it. You can do a lot of things. And that could just be, I don't know, maybe the variety of stuff that we can see you doing, even within your hip-hop hybrid career, your versatility shows through.
Oh, wow. Well, good.
And that so when you were at Berkeley, I mean, those are the things that you pick up in a place like Berkeley.
Yeah, without even really realizing it. Like, you're stressing out because you're trying to do all these different things and find your place and your voice, and the whole time you're making it and you don't even realize it. You know, like, I incorporate all the things that I learned there into my style now. And if you asked me 4 years ago if I thought that was going to be worthwhile at all, I would have been like, no, I was wasting my time, and it wasn't. You know, there's no way to know, because the future is the future, because you don't.
Right.
There's something to be said for that, though. We had on a guy recently, Charles Quinn, plays bass, and he came here partly because he had figured his voice out, and he didn't figure it out playing in his studio and grinding. He figured it out by being in the Navy and going to Rome and going through the Panama Canal and translating experiences into colors and then into music. Right? And that's how his path. That's how he had to get here. But he wanted to come here because you have to adjust so fast and be at such a high level that if you're not thriving, but if you're surviving here, you really are thriving, because this is the major leagues of music. Yeah. This is where it happens.
This is, yeah.
And now he plays bass for O'Brien. Quick poll. Do you remember O'Brien?
No.
People don't remember O'Brien.
Yeah.
He, the easiest thing to say about O'Brien is that he wrote the theme from Soul Train.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so he's legit. I mean, he was, signed by Don Cornelius and Dick Griffey, and
I bet my dad has one of his records.
I'm sure.
He does.
So it's just one of those generational things. But after he did that, and he had a couple ballads, and then he quit music for like 18 years or something, and now he's coming back. And
wow.
Yeah, but a lot of people. That was just a quick poll.
18-year hiatus.
I didn't figure that
he played. He just wasn't gigging. He was,
He went to North Carolina, took care of his mother.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I mean, it was
he's like
legit
a real
hiatus.
human being.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But for our listeners, because I imagine that there are going to be some people who tune in and go, "Oh, I just like Bryce Vine because he's cute." The Berklee College of Music in Boston, Massachusetts, is the Harvard of music.
Yeah.
There is there are a lot of great music schools, some of them here in Los Angeles. But Berklee College of Music, I think, is, in terms of prestige and in terms of just it is the Harvard of music. So the fact that you went there sort of extends the pedigree that you began with, having a mother in the entertainment business who brought you to Los Angeles, a father who lived in New York, was a true New Yorker, and brought you out there, and you'd spend time with him and kind of got to know the urban experience from there as well. And so, man, that's a lot of tools that you inherently have in your toolbox starting a career in music.
Yeah, I didn't realize it till you just put it on a plate right there.
I didn't mean to put that weight on your shoulders, man, but we're waiting on you to have a long and storied career.
Yeah.
Thank you. Wow.
Get to it.
You know what's funny is I'll go through like writer's blocks and stuff like that. Like I right when I got back from tour, because I just toured Europe for the first time.
How was that?
It was amazing. I mean, it was amazing. Like when you were just talking about the guy that just went and all these places, and like that's what I need. Like I need constant new stimulation, and I know that about myself. So I like started not being able to write. Maybe like I went through like a breakup for the first time, which like sparked some new things, and then I mean like a heartbreak, not a breakup for the first time.
Sure.
And then I like had to like force myself to become an avid reader. So I read. I always have a book on me wherever I go. There's one in my car. And I'm just constantly. I have a new book. Like I go to my favorite thing to do is go to a used bookstore and like pick out 10 that'll take me way too long to do, but I have them and I like to do it, and it's quiet.
Yeah.
And then I just have it. I'm excited about.
So you
the things
go on
that
the road
read.
with a stack of books.
I go on with 2.
Okay.
Because realistically, I only have time to finish 1, maybe.
Right.
You know.
But you're a voracious consumer of input.
Yeah, man. I mean, and it took a long time. You know, my mom was a huge reader, and she was like, "Oh, well, I guess he just didn't catch that. You know, he just didn't acquire that genetic input." And then all of a sudden, we're going to bookstores together, looking for things and talking about books. And she's like, "You know, I never thought this was going to happen."
Wow.
And so it took till I was 27 years old for it to happen, and then I had to figure out other things. I was like, okay, what else could I do? Like, now I have to start producing on a basic level on my computer. So I don't always have to depend on my producer's time to make beats. You know, like I'm not that good, but I did produce The Fall, and then they made it sound better.
That was good.
But I wrote the whole song on my own and produced it, and same with Glamorama and Sunflower Seeds and a bunch of the new stuff.
So you mentioned The Fall, and you mentioned a breakup. Did you break up with the girl whose booty was out, who was cooking for you? Or
Oh no, she broke up with me.
Oh.
That's why it was.
But was that
hard.
her?
It wouldn't have been.
was it her? Say it was
Who?
her.
Which one?
The girl in the video.
The girl in the video.
with the booty out.
With the
doing
booty
the dishes
out.
behind
You'll have to
you.
be more specific. Which girl with the booty
That's
out?
awesome.
That is the marking
No,
of a
it
good
definitely
life.
wasn't her. She's in 1 second of one video.
Okay.
But she had a memorable booty, evidently. 'Cause that's
No,
what I'm- anyway.
you didn't even see her. No. Those are all actually just friends. Any of those girls that you see in any of my videos, those are like you'll see the same people in all my
Sure.
videos. a lot.
Yeah. You employ your friends.
Yeah, man. I mean, I have cool friends.
Yeah.
And they're willing and they
And helpful.
support. Yeah.
So, is your mom still in the business?
No, she's retired. She was on a soap opera for 10 years.
Yeah.
She really said that
That's a lot of work.
Yeah, it is a lot of work, and she's one of the she's super smart, and she was just like, I don't want to do it, so I'm done. So she just like sold the house in our hometown and like bought an RV, and she spent maybe a year and a half ago, she spent almost an entire year just traveling around the country in an RV with a shotgun and just going to different places.
Mom with the shotgun.
With the shotgun.
Yeah.
She would go into
I mean,
different.
Talk about
I need a
outside the
cheeseburger.
box. Like
Yeah.
my mother is like, she is the least typical person I have ever met, and she's so awesome and interesting that it kind of ruins it sometimes for girls that I meet, because I'm like, you're not even nearly as interesting as the woman I was raised by.
That's what it's supposed to do.
Yeah, that she's setting the bar high for you.
That's
on
exactly
purpose.
what your mom wanted to do.
Yeah.
Not that I'm always looking for that. I'm not always looking for the right
The
one.
replacement. Yeah, right.
I'm looking for mom. Yeah.
I'm also looking for fun a lot.
Well, yeah, you're
Don't be
supposed
scared,
to.
ladies.
Come on. I mean, your music is about fun. You
Yeah.
definitely, I get that you draw from experience because your musical voice seems to be autobiographical. You talk about girls you meet.
I talk about things I know.
Or
Oh,
these are the things that we like about Bryce because we want to live vicariously through him.
Or you have your own story that's similar.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people will tell me that even when I feel like I'm being too specific, people will be like, I've been through that exact same thing.
sure.
Even as far as like The Fall describing heartbreak in a very particular way about a very particular person.
Yeah.
And people quote the lyrics in parts that I'm like, there's no way that you had that same thing, but you take it for, it's just like when you read anything and you take it and transfer it into your own life, and that's what I want people to do.
No, seriously. The bitch threw a cassava melon at me while I was swinging on a trampoline, and that's how she broke up with me, too.
Wow.
How can we have that in common?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's literally no way. I guess maybe there's one other person in the galaxy that happened to. But yeah, man, so
That person will find you on YouTube. You got about 8 zillion YouTube followers, though, so whatever it is you
Wow.
say,
Snack
there's
time.
somebody
You bring
in the
it?
world.
I don't know. Oh yeah,
All right.
food's here.
Our food has arrived.
What is that? That's a steak? That's
Here,
me
let's
right there.
talk
Boom.
about the shit while it's here.
Hell yeah.
And so Bryce got a lovely flat iron steak sitting on a bed of mashed potatoes with some fried onions. Oh, that
my
looks
God.
beautiful.
This stuff looks amazing. How are we
Can
gonna
I
eat it?
have
Pork.
some Tabasco, please?
And silverware, please.
I'm not gonna lie. The thing I like most about asparagus is asparagus peanut.
All right, who wants to try this?
Yeah. Oh, here, I got a full.
Oh, Jesus Christ! Look at that.
You cut me a piece of that, and I'll take a piece.
Dude, it's amazing.
Yeah, that looks amazing.
You don't mind germs, I
I
don't
don't
either.
care at all.
God damn it! I'm trying to get you all this
I worked
stuff.
in,
Here. Yeah. Is that not awesome?
Oh, that's good. I worked in Iraq for a long time. I'd go into town, hang out.
Worked in Iraq?
Yeah.
He was a
With the
spy
army.
in Iraq.
Yeah. And so we'd go out and
Wait, okay, hold on a second. You can't just start with one story and just
Here, mess with
phase
this.
over it. Oh, thank you.
I think the sauce.
Yeah, if you want to
Cut
buy
your
I think
piece of
this
this.
sauce is for that.
Come in and
Cut
grab a
your
bite of
piece
this
of this.
burger.
Might as well mess with that.
Oh, shoot.
We used to eat all the time, though. We used to get fed all the time. And there they have like a big old plate of lamb on a rice thing.
Oh, my God.
And if you're not doing it right, the guy will look at you and be like, here, you need some of this. And then grab it with his hands.
Here, you need
throw it
some
on
of
the
this.
plate.
Uh-huh. Oh, shit. Yes, thank you.
Yeah. Whoa, really? Like,
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. Wow.
Yeah, there's onions in there. That's good. I think just didn't cut that.
how long were you in Iraq?
I've got 70 plus months in combat zones, so I've done a lot of time. The coldest time I ever was in Afghanistan. It was fucking freezing.
Really?
We lived in a tent. Everything was frozen.
It was in a tent. He couldn't even get into a cave. He had to climb into a camel's vagina. Which was not unlike prom.
Looking good there so far?
Yeah.
So good. It's so good.
Terrific. Thank you. So let's talk about your tour of Europe. Where'd you go?
I went to 20 cities in all over Europe.
Wow. How long were you over there?
A month.
21 days. A month. Seriously, you did 20 cities in a month.
Yeah.
Damn, that's
moving. We went to. It's so funny because I was a little stagnant for a while, like around February of last year, and I even wrote a song called "Nowhere Man" about my desire to travel the world. And then I just did it. I was at the studio one night, super late by myself, just like coming up with stuff to write. And I just had this longing to just travel and do all these things. And because I was even reading travel books, I was learning about places that I hadn't gone, like that made it closer to being there. Yeah. And I wrote a song about traveling and all the things I wanted to do. So I said, fuck it. One night I just booked a trip to Paris for June, so that I knew I just had to go, and then I would just figure it out from there.
Right. That's a good place to start, man. Paris is fucking the money. That's awesome.
I mean, I had done some research. I knew the cities I wanted to go. It wasn't just a click and buy this, and but I bought a one-way.
Nice.
So that I could figure it out once I got there.
That's a bold move.
Very bold. Too bold, in fact. Because if I had taken that trip, I would have been so lost, and I would have been so stressed out because I had never done it before. But it turned out, 2 months later, I get a message on Twitter from Hoodie Allen saying that somebody dropped off his tour, and would you like to join? And this was a U.S. tour. But you have to leave in 2 days because it was in March that I did this. So Matt, my manager, and me and my agent, we just got everything together. We booked the tickets, and we just started on this tour like 2 days later on the U.S., which did wonders for me. I was first of 3 on the tour, and then Hoodie Allen invited me to be direct support for his Europe tour that happened in September.
Wow.
So since I knew I was going to do that, I canceled the trip to go on my own in June, and instead got to travel to way more places, get paid to do it, and with people that I like on a tour bus.
Right, and have arrangements made for you.
Yeah. With a tour manager, and get it that way, which is the way I always wanted it. And I'm like, oh my God, I'll forever appreciate whoever made that happen in the universe.
Right on, Hoodie Allen, first of all.
Besides him, yeah, hey, obviously he made it happen. But
but man, that is a terrific way to see the country. And one of the things that is
underrepresented. It was two. It was U.S. tour for a month and a Europe tour for a month.
Wow. So the logistics of a tour, though, and having that taken out of your hands. You have a tour manager. They're going to get you there. You got a bus going. They have a route. Take all of that away from you. Now let you just soak up Europe and do the shows.
Yeah, and with people who have been there before. Right. Like his whole band we're all
veterans.
Yeah, and we'd already toured together for a month before, so we all know each other now. Right. They've done it. And it was just me and my DJ on the bus, so there was only 11 people all together on this bus, and everyone got along. Everyone had fun, and we all wanted to do the same stuff. We got to Amsterdam, and we just wanted to walk around the whole city all day until we had to go to the show, and eat good food and look at pretty girls. And I myself, because I had done a bunch of research about all the places that we were going to go because I wanted to know what to do, I was the only person that cared to go to the Rijksmuseum. Right. So I took my iPod and I listened to jazz music, and I just walked around the Rijksmuseum for an hour before a sound check. And you just do, and then me and the night that we got in, funny enough, we started in Paris anyway. And the night that we got there, we're jet lagged. We don't know what time it is in the world. So me and my DJ, we just walk 3 hours to the Eiffel Tower at night, not knowing that the Eiffel Tower closes.
Yeah.
It closes. So
You got there.
so we got there and all the lights were off.
Held hands. Yep.
Yeah,
there
it was way too
There it
romantic
went.
for two straight men.
Yeah.
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 So when you're on a 20-city tour that's 30 days long, what cities did you spend extra days in? And were there extra days because you had to do 2 nights in Paris, or?
There was extra days because we did some weird routes that ended up being the best part of the trip, because like we spent 2 days in London, which I was sick for, so I only got to like move around a little bit, and then we went somewhere else and then back to London for 1 day, and then the weirdest thing that we did, we took a ferry from Stockholm to Helsinki, Finland, that takes 14 hours.
Yeah. That's slow.
It takes 14 hours, so we're like, and it's kind of like a mini cruise ship, but except with all the fun.
Right.
So all of us were just in these bunks, but as soon as you like are 20 minutes away from the dock, then here's the Swedish archipelago.
Right.
And you're just like, this is one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen.
And you got to take that in for hours.
Hours.
And people party on those boats.
Yeah.
Oh my God. It's,
Yeah, they kind of. It was mostly families around when we were
okay.
working, because it was September.
Right.
So kids had just gotten back in school and all that stuff. So it was not the most lively boat, but just doing that was crazy. And seeing houses all along the Swedish archipelago, you can't even fathom how these people found this place and they live there and how they get groceries.
This is it.
Yeah. We're staying here.
Yeah.
I'm going to take an aside with Pete.
Yeah.
Just because, can you imagine how this motherfucker killed in Europe?
Yeah. He just
Can you
shows up.
imagine all the
He shows up.
the draws he slayed?
Yeah. No, when he
Man.
walks in, there's like this natural urge for girls to walk a little bit more open and ready.
Uh-huh.
You know, just down to do it.
Right. And mouth agape.
Yeah, he hasn't even sung anything
Like they
yet.
can't even talk. And then he starts singing.
Yeah.
I was like, excuse me, in my awkward approach, I just noticed you were running out of rum in your coke, and I was hoping I could interest you in witty rapport, and if you game, we could kick it like you're keeping the score. You're so exotic in all of the right ways, eyes like green diamonds, skin of Milan beige, hair's a black currant that matches your style great with the jacket you bought from Urban and your pretty bird chain. She said I look mixed, I said I'm dark white, she said I seem fun, I said you damn right, then she laughed and said Allegra's the name, and I've been waiting for a guy like you all day. So, hey, we don't really got another place to go, and I know you don't wanna sleep alone, so take me home tonight. So I hit her with a, oh, I know we don't got a better place to be. Tomorrow doesn't mean a thing to me, so take me home tonight.
Do you do that thing where like you look at him and you're like, hey, baby? You know what you're like?
And it's like, how is
my
it that
God.
you have to sit and contemplate? This woman is standing up and her ear is by her ankle. How do you even do that? I'm glad you did that, but how do you do that?
Yeah.
Oh
Anyway.
my God. Damn. If only it lived up to that.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm going to leave here feeling so good about myself today.
Good.
This hat doesn't fit anymore. Well, I will say that it does not hurt to have this as a career when it comes to girls.
Yeah.
It certainly doesn't. But on tour is the least place that you are able to make something happen out of it, because you're only there for so long.
Yeah.
You're there for one night, one day, sometimes not even at the nighttime. You leave it like right after the show.
There's
I
a
got to take
logistics
another
change.
aside with Pete.
Oh, yeah.
He'll get better.
Yeah. Longer
He'll
stays.
get better at the shorter stay.
Oh, okay. I
He'll
see.
get more
That's even
effective.
faster.
It'll be
Yeah.
a more condensed process.
Yeah.
That's how it happens in my imagination. So,
We did pretty well with the short stay, but I might. Anyway,
that was a deliberate attempt to throw you off, man. I'm glad you took the bait. That was fun. So,
I totally took it. Damn it! How do you guys have me just revealing things here?
Yes.
you know what though? At this point in your career, man, you're really starting to hit a stride where I think your appeal and your. This is a guy who has never sat in a studio with Bryce Vine, so that's my disclaimer. But I feel like right now that you've been around the world a time, you came back from that experience, you soaked all that up, you're becoming a more voracious reader. You're sort of digesting the world in a way that you hadn't when you were younger. And now I feel like you're going to hit a musical stride and a career momentum stride. Hopefully that happens, that converges at a time so that both of them kind of skyrocket. But I feel like now you need a full band.
Oh wow.
What's the likelihood? And does that even...
You're so smart. That has been brought up a lot recently. That's the next step that we want to do. Bring in pieces as they come. Start with a drummer, keyboardist.
You got to start with the drummer.
Player.
You can go no further unless the drummer is bad.
He has to be so on point.
Yeah.
So on point. And we've done a couple shows with one of my friends who is a drummer, but it's just like we just weren't ready for that yet. And a lot of people were hearing the songs for the first time.
Yeah.
And that sometimes can muddy it for people.
Right.
You know, having it just be me and my DJ, because he, also
it gives
he
you
plays
a lot
trumpet,
of control.
And when we both play instruments, he went to Berkeley as well, my DJ.
Right.
So, we do enough, just me and him. If you're hearing the music for the first time,
yeah,
you know what I mean. But now that I have fans that are coming to the show that know all the lyrics to the songs, it's okay for them to hear it differently now. You know what I mean? That you could accent it, make it even more lively, and that's what I want to do. I've always wanted to play in a full band. I wanted to be the lead singer of a band when I was young. I didn't ever want to be a solo act.
Right.
So that is the next thing. That's so funny that you said that.
Well, now you are a solo act. I mean, you've sort of incubated as a solo act, and now I feel like you're going to mature as a solo act. The songs that you write, the material that you come up with, I think your songwriting is also sort of visually stimulating. I mean,
oh, thank you.
Is it easy to come up with a video? Because I feel like every song that I've watched is like, this is made for a video. Like, do you think multimedia when you got pen and pad in your hand?
Songs are much harder to write than videos, because I don't know why, but I can come up with just crazy stuff. Especially with the right director.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have more of a brain for just coming up with interesting, weird, colorful stuff. But when I put my phone, or now it's my phone. It's not a pen to the pad. It's my phone writing on that.
Yeah.
When I'm trying to write a song, it is so hard to come up with the right stuff. It's just, and it always has been. It's always been a little bit of a struggle, just finding exactly what I want to say. I have to kind of create the story in my head first, or the situation. I can't just write a lot of rappers can just write about nothing,
right?
Basically, even if I'm writing a song that's just for partying or something like that, I have to have an image in my head, which is why reading helps so much, because you have to create the images in your head yourself.
Yes.
So we had this girl outside who was good looking and had her dog. That's a song right there, right? And that's the one if she would have looked back.
It's a part of a song for sure. Okay. If I think about it later, what's an example? Because I'll only find so many things to say about that situation.
Okay.
It might not fill a whole song.
So she might be a verse.
That song is called Baby, Why You Gotta Wear a Hoodie?
Yeah. Where's your face?
You look so good.
Where's your face?
Show it to us. Show us your face.
Yeah.
Why are you wearing a hoodie?
So can you go backwards then? Can you design the video and then say what song fits that video?
I've never tried that.
You haven't had that moment where, when you have a guitar
true.
lick where you go, oh man, I like this. This change is so cold-blooded, I have to use this. And you just kind of put it away. Have you had that moment where you're thinking, you know what I need? I need a video with a synchronized swimming. I'm going to use that. I'm going to just sock that away because I have a visual.
Sometimes you do come up with just great video ideas.
Yeah.
And then you just have to wait for that song that you write that fits it.
Yeah.
I've had one in my head, a video idea that I came up with that made my mom actually cry when I told her it. So I'm okay, this must be good. She's over emotional as a person, but she doesn't just cry unless she really gets the story that I'm going for. And so I'm waiting for a song that I write that works for that, because it has to be something that it's deep. It's
everything
really
else
deep.
has to live up to it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was a line that she didn't just go, that's nice, baby.
No, it wasn't a line. It was a plot for a music video.
Okay.
It was a plot for a video that I have just a story that I came up with that I might just make a short film if I never make it a video, because it's deep. It's deep.
You didn't have I'm gonna sit here in the foreground and I'm gonna be singing my song, and in the background on one side of the screen there's gonna be a woman making me pancakes with her booty out.
Her booty out.
And you have her booty out, she'll be making me pancakes, and I'll be singing about her. Because that to me is that's a worthwhile image. You could write a whole album around that. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Have you done much collaboration?
You like how I let Pete do all the heavy lifting while I just talk about girls with their booties?
He's like, all right, let's bring it back around to.
Well, I want to, because I'm dying to know more about your process, because you've got we talked about, you got a very, in my point of view, an autobiographical voice. But at some point you'll evolve. You'll be reading books. Bono reads books all the time, and it drives what he does. But
and create new stories.
Right, and he might have little word images or little short phrases, and then Edge will come in with a sound, and then all of a sudden those two things that weren't together all of a sudden go together, and then the song writes itself in effect. But do you have someone like that you work with, that you collaborate with?
That's honestly the hardest part, is that I don't really have somebody to write. I've written everything up till now. I maybe two other people have co-wrote one. My friend Tom co-wrote Guilty Pleasure, and that's really it. Because I write better on my own, and I trust myself a lot more than everybody else, because I made this sound. So
yeah.
But I need somebody. I need that person that I can be like, oh wow, that's a great idea. And my producer helps sometimes, but he's not a songwriter, he's a producer.
Right.
He writes songs, and he can, but we just don't come from the same place, where our headspace is.
Right.
And all the greater guys have a guy that they can feed off of, and do stuff with. Even Drake.
Yeah, absolutely. There's guys that Jackson Browne and Glenn Frey collaborated. It's hard work to sit there at the piano and you play something and you back up and you play something.
This motherfucker just fell out with Fred Flintstone collaborated with. You went back to 1961.
Well, I was just thinking about how Glenn Frey came in and he would add the words that Jackson Browne couldn't find. When Jackson Browne's Jackson Browne, he's got all the words. He's like,
even the Beatles, there was 4 of them, and except for Ringo, I think all of them took part in writing a song.
That's fucked up. That's fucked up. You can mess with Ringo like that, man.
Maybe he didn't know how to do it. Maybe they were we're better without.
He wrote all the corny songs.
Yeah.
When you listen to a Beatles album and then there's Walrus.
Yeah.
He wrote the song about the walrus.
Yeah.
That was Ringo. Then they'd have all their deep songs about love and peace and harmony, and then there'd be that one song about the penguin with the shoes. And you'd be like, a penguin? Who wrote that? That was Ringo.
Yeah.
So
I do need that person. I need my McCartney.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I haven't found them. So I just keep writing on my own. And I do sessions and stuff like that with other people, and then I just realize later, I'm just like, I might just do this on my own.
Yeah. Well, you've done a couple collaborations, though. How did that work out?
Very few.
I mean, really, you did one this year, right? You did a collaboration with...
Oh, yeah, this rapper out of New York. I was there for one night, and Hoodie Allen's DJ, it was friends with this guy, Zach Downtown, who I've heard on SoundCloud before. Cool guy, and we were just chilling in the studio, and someone put on a beat. I didn't even think that we were serious. I thought we were just having fun with it, so I rapped about things that I never say. It was just, it was purely for fun, which was actually awesome. And we made this song called Cool Off. So yeah, I did that with him, and then I featured on one of my friend's songs that I just thought was a good song. It's more of a boy bandy song, which isn't usually my cup of tea, but I thought it was catchy, so I was like, yeah, sure, I'll write a verse on it.
Yeah.
But probably where a lot of people found me is years ago. I did a collab with G-Eazy.
That was 2010. That was years ago.
Years ago. We met over MySpace through DJ Carnage. And he did a remix of a song that I had written called Loveaholic back then. And we kept in touch, and he opened for me at some place, and then we opened for him in Boston, and nobody was there. Literally, not one person came to the show. So first of all, he works his ass off.
Yeah.
I don't have the same fire drive. I like to write songs, and I like to finish them, but I have to force myself to work. I do. I have to, really force myself. Little things like reading, those are just things I have to force myself to do because it's important. I'm not good at making myself a business. If I was better, I'd already be huge. I'm doing okay, but I would be bigger.
By the way, it is afternoon, and we are sitting in a restaurant, and this fool just ate a flat iron steak. This is what we should be doing on a Friday, right?
Right.
No, really, you should be in the lab
actually,
grinding.
I have to go soon.
Okay.
Actually, I have a session at 2.
So I'll quit messing with you. But, okay, it's great to acknowledge that.
But saying that, I'm saying that I watched G-Eazy put up flyers for his own show around New Orleans when I went to play a show with him one time. where he went to school, and he was already selling like 1,000 cap rooms there, and
he's out putting up his own flyers.
And he was so determined to be a star, and he got turned down from labels, Mike Carey and people, and so I saw all that for years and years and years. He opened for a bunch of different people. No one knew who he was. I would ask, have you heard of G-Eazy? No. Now he's one of the biggest people, and I think he's going to stay one of the biggest people because he's had all that.
Right.
And having seen that, it makes me a lot more patient.
You got to do it in its own time. We've seen this over and over again where the person starts, maybe they have a shock of success early on, but no matter what, it's 10 years. Mm-hmm. You got to get in and you got to grind.
You got to do your 10 years.
Flex that muscle. You have to. And then because you're in the workshop, you're doing things like putting flyers up or writing that song that you don't want to write or reading that next book. That flash of brilliance comes in, and then it flashes again.
And it makes it worth it.
Flashes again. And
There's little moments like that, and you're like, you know
what?
And
they converge with, hey, go to Europe with me, and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. I was in the studio every day for a month without really going out at all. I'd stopped drinking. I just was in the studio every single day when I got that tweet.
Yeah.
You know? And then I'll do it again where I'll be like in a stagnant place and I'll just be having fun and I'm not thinking about it and I'm trying to write but it's not happening. And then I have to force myself like the last couple of weeks to do something really good. And then things start coming around again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just hard. It's just hard for me to...
That's why it's work.
That is why it's work. I saw an interview with Harry Connick Jr. one time where he said, and I'm making this up, but paraphrasing what he said, which was, from 10 in the morning until about 1, I write.
Yeah.
And if I don't feel like I have anything to write about, I write anyway.
Right.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah, and he just had that level of discipline and knew that it was going to take that for him because of his personality. Kind of like what you're saying. I mean, he's like, I like to goof off. I like to hang out. I have a beautiful wife. I could just lay around the couch with her all the time.
Yeah.
But between 10 and 1, I know I got to go sit down with my pad and paper and I have to write. And it might be something terrible, but I'll do it tomorrow. And I do it every day.
I got one more question. I got 2 questions for you. One of all I'll ask later on. My question is this. This person tweets you, calls you up, and you're like, holy fuck, yes, I'll collaborate with you, and you're out the door running. Who is that person where you're just like, would lose your mind?
Man, there's 3, and they're very different. One is Stephen Jenkins, who's the lead singer of Third Eye Blind. Mm-hmm. He's the reason that I became a songwriter, and he knows that because he saw it in an article that I wrote, and he invited me to the show. One of the highlights of my career.
Right on.
Is that my idol, the reason I started writing, acknowledged my presence and invited me to a show. The second is Kid Cudi, because even though he's fallen off lately, he had this thing that people still haven't given up on.
Yeah,
he kind of has gone a different way. Maybe that's just his art choice, but he had something very special that almost like ended too soon. It's like the kind of thing that ends like once the person dies and then they become a legend. But I thought he had something really special. And the third is, I guess, John Lennon, because I'd be like, how? Yeah. How are you calling me?
Lose my number.
How is this possible? I have to know how this is possible. I'm trying to think if there is a third. Gosh, there's so many people I would be excited about.
Do me this favor, too. If Quincy Jones ever calls you, hang up on him.
Why?
Because it's funny to do. Because no one ever believes it's him. They're like, hey, Quincy.
This is Quincy Jones. Yeah, all right, bye.
Uh-huh.
Exactly. Yeah.
Sure it is.
This asshole trying to pretend he was Quincy Jones just called me. Yeah. Okay.
That's the story of what
question.
Eddie Van Halen did when he got the call to play the solo and Beat It. He was sitting by his pool and his phone rang and he picked it up and somebody said, "Is this Eddie? This is Quincy Jones." And he went and hung up the phone.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So whoever that third person is.
Oh, I'll say Frank Ocean. Frank Ocean is one of them.
There you go.
His writing is so interesting. He makes me more excited to write songs because one of the things that I always do when I write songs is I try to pick words that you don't hear a lot.
Yeah.
And so the more specific that you get, the easier that is to do.
Yeah.
And every time I hear one of his songs, I'm like, I cannot wait. My brain is just going to tingle from whatever the word choices that he uses.
Yeah.
And he's like, he says things like, "Did you come here from a seance?" you came from a past life, and I'm just like, seance?
Yeah,
I haven't heard that in a
seriously, he
song.
just used seance in a
Yeah.
song.
Yeah.
And like his biggest song, the first line in it is, "A tornado flew around my room before you came. Excuse the mess it made. It usually doesn't rain in Southern California." It's like, so you just created this whole picture. You're explaining to somebody that your room is messy, and you're making a joke at the same time that it's messy because a tornado flew around it, and it usually doesn't rain here in Southern California. I'm like, that's so fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
One line deep into the song.
One line into the song.
So Frank Ocean's from here, and you're from here. Why aren't you guys working together?
Well, he doesn't know about me yet.
Oh, okay.
That's why.
Well, we're working on it.
Yeah, we're working.
Yeah.
On it. We're working on it. So yeah, man, we I don't want to keep you too long. I appreciate that you came here and had this
I'm excited to
fucking
go right.
awesome lunch. This place is
Dude,
awesome.
this place is awesome. You
By
guys
the
are
way,
awesome.
nice pick, Matt.
thank you.
Thank
I'm
you very
excited
much.
to go right after this, man. I really am.
So here's my only question for you, because I have many more questions for you. Is will you do this again? Come back down. We'll do this
Oh,
every
dude,
once in a
can
while.
we do this? I'm so
Often as you
down.
want,
You guys
yeah.
are easily the best people that I've ever done
Because
this
this is the
with.
thing about these kind of shows is we can't grab you in 1 hour.
Yeah.
We can't define
Man,
you in 1 hour.
you have a
No way.
complicated. You have a
Yeah,
complicated.
but I like hearing
process
about
and
your
everything.
guys' stuff too, man.
Oh yeah, well that's why it's more of a conversation than an interview.
Yeah.
And I want to bring DJ Severe in and have him.
That's what we
talk.
have to do next time.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
so
should.
we'll try to book this collaboration at Dodger Stadium. I can't guarantee the food will be this good, but we'll do something about that.
We'll give it a shot.
And
Maybe
we'll
we'll
do
just
it with Severe.
We'll bring food with us. We'll like bring In
Nice.
and Out to Dodger Stadium. Be
There
super
we go.
American. Super LA.
Yeah.
So yeah, thanks, man.
Thank you guys, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, let's do it again. We should probably get the check.
Oh yeah.
We'll have a house party tonight. Alright. Bring your girl if she down to freak. We'll have a house party tonight. That's right. Our house is the place to be. Our house is the place to go to have good times with the ones we know. So if you ain't shady and you like going crazy, our house is the place to roll. Got a couple bottles that I stashed in the trunk. Send a mass text and my phone's blowing up. Shit, we don't give a fuck. You can bring your friends if you like, and you can rock a Benz or a bike, nigga, anything you like. Long as the bass is rocking, the girls look good and the place is popping. We ain't gonna stop till we drink every drop, and we can't cop a new bottle.